Good night. I just wanted to come on 5 minutes early. Thank you for the like. Good night, guys. Good night. We haven't done this in a while. If you're in here, just drop. If you're in here early with me, just tell me where you're from. Okay, California in the house. Definitely want to go to California one day. That is on my bucket list. People laugh at me for that being on my bucket list. Okay, we also got Texas in the house. I went to Dallas one time before. Maurice Humboldt, Wisconsin is in the house. Perez Novel, I'm wide awake. Michael Sniper Bailey, Alabama. Oh man, we got 4 different states so far. And California, San Fernando Valley. That is what is up, man. Appreciate you, Diane. Appreciate all you guys coming on tonight. Actually, we are going to talk about this American bully breed that we love. So just hit that like button for me, guys, when you come on in. Perez, hit that like button too. My boy Perez. Okay, I'm gonna give him 2 more minutes before we start. Let me put my phone on silent. All right. Okay, 1 more minute before we get started, guys. Appreciate you hitting that like button for me. Appreciate it, guys. Is the American bully dead? Is what we're going to be talking about tonight. Okay, it's 8 o'clock. We can get started. I appreciate you guys coming on. We got 4 states in here so far. Okay, but I wanted to talk to you guys about the state of the American bully right now and what is going on. And a friend of mine, we had this conversation the other day about what the breed is turning into and where that will leave a lot of people that are not interested in this more modern American Bully, so to speak. And he said to me, my friend said to me, within um, a few short years, even now, some people would say that the dog is not recognizable to people who would have been around when he started back in, I mean, at least from the time when I came in back in 2013, and even before then, you know, and I see I mean, a whole lot of good people, people with, with good programs that are moving towards that more extreme dog, and very few are trying to do it, I should say, not that they're not trying to forget about confirmation, but in trying to achieve more mass and these more extreme features, they are losing confirmation. The dogs don't end up as clean usually, especially when you have dogs with a wider shoulder set in the front. Um, Obviously, that's bound to happen. Will obviously affect the movement and things of that nature. So you know, that's where we're at now. But tell me what you guys think is going on so far. Is the traditional American bully still alive? Because I for one um, have been worried about the history of the American bully, or what it will, or what the story of the American bully will be. Because if those dogs, let's say from 2010 to 2018, aren't considered, and I'm talking about nationals winners, aren't considered bully enough, what I don't know what to do. I don't even know what to think. Alan Dennis, what's up, apparently in Michigan. Appreciate you, Alan, for coming on. That is true. The original American bully look is getting hard to find, and if you pay attention, it's also because so many people are breeding towards the extreme look, which is more evident, I would say, in I see some muscle tone blood and some um, Rocco blood, which is things from Khan. And whether it's Rocco, Grim, Colossal, Big Red, I see a lot of people going in Brim in that direction. And it's in my opinion, if you objectively look at those dogs, I don't think we can disagree that the dog looks completely different. And people will say that the breed has evolved, but we know that evolution does not take place when we step in. Um, Evolution takes place in nature, throughout nature, over a very long period of time. So when I hear Dave talk about what's being done, and I said several times, I don't ever really hear him talk about confirmation and health, especially when that video was released a while back with him talking about he had intended for the dogs to be tighter and more healthy and more athletic, if I remember correctly what he said. But in fact, the American bully is the exact opposite today. Okay, Steven Jackson said the American bully is a extreme dog. If you don't like extreme, choose another breed. The original stock is not the ending result of the concept. Correct, Steven Jackson. However, the American bully is supposed to be an extreme dog compared to other dogs, not compared to American bullies. So When Dave did the breeding, like they said years ago, when he did Watuka Spirit to Sadie's Paddington, the lady told him that he would get overdone. That was already considered to be overdone in the dog world. It was already considered to be, for the terrier world, I guess I should say, that was already considered to be overdone. So what we're doing is taking a more overdone breed. You're taking a breed that is already overdone and you're making it more overdone. From if you go from Cairo to maybe a dog like the bear, and then you go from the bear to Samson. It's like it's three different stages. And like that, Dave said he intended to get more athletic years ago in the video. That was Dave saying that he intended to get more athletic. The dogs today, especially the big three, are not more athletic. It's not in that direction today. And I think anybody can objectively admit to that. Daniel said it takes 100 years for breed to evolve. They said it happened in 20 years. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Martian Star Bullies in the house. What's up, guys? Perez dog, from what I've seen, I think it's dead to me. I always thought the purpose was supposed to be having a healthy, functional dog. It has evolved, but at the expense of health and self gain and self wealth. Yes, sir, you are correct. And Mark DeLees, what's up, brother? And like I've said, um, it's like you have to say to yourself, objectively, what is the point of making a bully a dog? What is the point of making a dog so freaky? Hey, Manuel, appreciate you coming on. What is the purpose of it? Is it healthier to be that much bigger? Is it more functional when a dog has so much more bone? Appreciate you, the Godtail Skrilla, coming on. And I think about it like, and it always brings my mind back to bodybuilders and people like when I think of Ronnie Coleman and what Ronnie Coleman put his body through, you know, and I don't know if he could do it again if he had a choice, if he would do it again. And I feel like that there's a line that you have to draw and you have to say, okay, enough is enough. And I don't think Davey Casey has really decided that the dogs are big enough yet. Appreciate you coming on, Ryan. You seem really happy with your new little house. The pups. The pups are doing great, man. I was really happy with both of us actually. But I definitely will be posting on them later. But it always bothered me in my mind and I always wondered why. When let's talk about something like blood with Dax in it. I always wonder why Dave never really decided to do health testing or to make it mandatory to a certain level, especially when you know that those dogs are producing heart murmurs, heart issues, skin allergies. And that's not to say that Dax is not the only dog to do those things, but because he was so heavily bred, there were so many examples for us to look at with Dax and his kids and his offspring, and even the problem with Rocco and Grim and Big Red and them throwing the same issues. And you're looking at generations afterwards, and you're seeing the exact same thing. You would think that the ABKC would say, well, maybe it's not in the best interest of the breed for those dogs to be heavily bred. Um, you know, but if you're popping up puppies left, right, and center and you're collecting registration fees, then who tends to gain from that situation? It would only be the registry. Daniel said, if you keep it real, most of the dogs in the ABKC ring, you can see the bulldog in them. That's facts. Stephen Jackson said, the point is to make another total different dog from the pit bull arm staff mixes. Too many people are confused on what a American bully is. an American Bully is. Um, but it was Stephen Jackson. The American Bully was already stated in the standards. That's the issue I have. If because if that was the point, then why would there be from 2010 to 2018 the dogs look one way, and then just a few, not even a few, just a year later, a couple of years later, you choose to say those dogs don't even really have a class, because some of those are pockets. You would say there is no such thing as a classic pocket. So those dogs, like maybe Axel, um, the bus, what do they consider them to be now? Because they're not the size of some of the pockets that are winning today. Alejandro Duran, Edge Blood has also had health issues. Correct. And I know of that as well. But I definitely know of Dark's Blood from my experience with it. The Edge Blood that I've had, I haven't had any issues with it. Good day, Marley. Thank you for coming on. Zero said, you can put all the muscle, head, and bone on a dog, but if it's only 14 inches and can barely move, that doesn't impress me at all. Nobody gonna hesitate to jump your fence and take whatever they want. I hear that, and function is a part of that. And it seems like, because I mean, when we're talking about function, nobody wants to have the conversation about um, Zero and Blue having to be cooled down in an air conditioned building. Years ago, nobody wants to have that conversation, but these are the bullier dogs. Um, Michael Sniper said, German Ruger. I have German Ruger grandson. I haven't had any problems with, and the person who I bought him from has a daughter of his, and they had a son, and they haven't had any issues. So, but I have heard of that. I have heard of that. And he said, King Kamali. But test your stock. Alejandro Duran. I did health test three of my adults. I I posted on the breeding video that I did. I posted all of their results. So my male had one copy of card four, and then both of my females are all clear. So those are those three. Now I have puppies from them that I also intend to health test in the coming months. So Perez Darville said, imagine spending thousands of dollars on a dog that your kid can't run outside with because it's allergic to grass, which is an experience I've had as well before. A dog was a companion, and the breed was at one point built to be the ultimate companion. Now they can't go outside, can't run long distances, can't go in grass. And that is the case with a lot of them. Are these dogs not good enough anymore? I don't know. I mean, with says Michael Bailey, there's a lot of there's a separation happening now more and more, but the majority seems to me still to seem to like more of these extreme dogs, especially with the last show that I went to in Oklahoma in November, last November. I heard people talking about, and you hear people talking about this when I have private conversations as well. They always say we have to breed to keep up with Blue, Zero, Samson. And I don't see why people would feel like they have to breed bigger because those dogs are bigger. Two out of those three have to be cooled down in an air conditioned building. Samson, I can't speak for, but we've seen this happen at nationals. And was it Blue? It happened 2 years in a row where he had to be cooled down, and that is an issue. So if we're going to talk about more extreme, let's talk about the pros and the cons of a dog being more extreme. Alejandro Duran. Yeah, Daniel, the cooling cape needs to be banned from shows. I agree. There's something internally wrong with those dogs. Why that would have to happen? Alejandro Duran, what kind of health testing did you do? So far, I've only used Embark, and from what I've seen, they test for a lot of different things. So when you when you look at everything that Embark tests for, and they tell you how many what they found in your dog or what they didn't find, you see that they do testing for a whole variety of things, which I did like. And my vet, I actually showed it to her, and she actually thought it was pretty thorough as well. So for now, I think I'll be sticking with that. So Michael Bailey says, no, I'm saying dogs like German, Ruger King, Kamali, and Pokemon, are they not good enough anymore? Today, today they would tell you that they probably would not even be classics. Um, because we've had this conversation with a judge and some other people, and they're saying Dooley, they were saying Dooley would be a nice classic, and Dooley is upwards of 90 pounds, 19 inches, and if a dog that big is a classic, but you can imagine with anything else slightly slimmer than Dooley, they don't consider them to have a class, you know. And then, with the classic class being now the old standard dogs, and the new standard dogs are the extremes. So Alejandro says, I still don't get why the breed doesn't have a parent club. The breed can't have a parent club because they would have to be held accountable. And I think with a parent club, it would be hard for me to imagine there being a parent club without some kind of health testing being implemented um, or enforced to make sure that we were getting the best specimens possible. And, based on the ABKC, to me, seems to follow trends. Um, it's like we're not going to go, it seems to me like they're saying, we're not going to go by the standard, we're going to go with what's popular. And so some years you would hear of, you would see they favor dogs that are shorter pockets. And I know this happened for sure because my friend who was going to be a judge told me about this, about him being kind of disappointed because he had a shorter dog that they didn't want at the time. And by the time he got, they wanted it, but by the time got of age for him to show, they didn't want it anymore, that look anymore. Now, skip 4 or 5 years later, he's bringing the dog back out because it's more popular. So it's like there's no consistency anymore, for the past couple of years in terms of what they want, except we know that they're looking for dogs with much more mass. Okay, so Steven Jackson says, when buying an American Bully, be sure to go to an ABKC show and talk to a judge before you get finessed into buyers. I guess buying a pit bull staff mix instead of an American Bully. Well, like I said, if you talk to the judge today, this dog will be a classic. Next year it'll be a standard. So that's Steven's recommendation. I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend reading the standard and going by what you see. And that is also why we have a separation today. Because some people just want to freaky a dog. And if you want to do that and you want to just call a spade, then, just say you want to freaky a dog. But to say that the older dogs are all pit bulls and staffs, that doesn't really make any sense. Daniel says, do you use the breeder's embark or the regular one, or are they the same? That I had to find out because my friend of mine who had the a promo code, he recommended me which one to get, and that's how I chose that one. Grouchy, ain't no one tripping off the ABKC no more. Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson, how you going to avoid a pit bull arm staff mix, Ryan said, when that's what the breed is created from. Man, that's what we want. Pit bulls on steroids. That is exactly what we want. God takes care of. We want pit bulls on steroids. And I will say, Stephen, if you're here, there's one thing you cannot say, is that these dogs today do not resemble pit bulls on steroids. That has always been the goal. The goal has never been anything else other than pit bulls on steroids. Anything else, we know would actually be a lie. Pit bulls on steroids, not bulldogs with crops. BBM bully, Grand Champion Rocco is a great American bully. Um, if that's your opinion, I guess I don't. I've seen too many health issues from Rocco, as well as his conformation, to consider him a great American bully. Dave Cumberbatch, I would be inclined to agree with you. Stephen Jackson, this is room for improvement. That's the job of real American bully breeders. Pittsburgh staff breeders don't have a clue on how to make an American bully. Marley Blue, the breeder embark is just a discounted package. German Ruger is my perfect example. God Taste Griller says German Ruger was a good example. Alejandro Duran, pit bulls on steroids is still a pit bull. What's the point of that? Alejandro Duran. Okay. All right, so and Rocco has a slight kink in his tail. I swear his tail looks weird sometimes. German Ruger is like pit bulls, staff breeders don't have a clue on how to make an bully. Okay. Pit bulls on steroids is still a pit bull. What's the point of that? Alejandro, I will say, I guess that's a good question for Dave. Why he said pit bulls on steroids. I think obviously the pit bull was chosen because of the pit bull's versatility, I guess, in terms of its function. A pit bull, is a tough, hardy dog that was athletic, that we know usually didn't have many health issues. They could face the weather. They could deal with harsher conditions than most dogs. Um, I think their births would be more successful naturally than the dogs today, and I think that was the point of it. So when he said on steroids, I think it was to make a bigger version of it. Like I said earlier, it was the American bully. Cairo was already an overdone version of what was being um, um, of what was in the terrier world, basically. So that was the point of it. That's my opinion. Um, Ryan Pitsugram says, Steven Jackson. Okay, wait, no, he said that already. You want the drive from the pit bull and the mass of armed staff. Skrilla says. Ryan Sugram, the pit also had the temperament to make a good companion animal. BBM Bully, was the American Bully a finished product? BBM Bully Kennel. I don't think it was finished based on the video that I saw the other day when Dave said that there were some really good athletic dogs at the time. And he said the goal was to still make it more healthy and athletic. Obviously, they strayed away from that, but that was in his own words. Skrilla says a pit bull can be left on a chain and keep going. Yes. Reading the standard and understanding the standard is two different things, says Stephen Jackson. And he is correct. But understanding the standard is, in my eyes, it's quite simple. When it says heavily muscled, and the standards never use the word extreme. They only use the words heavily muscled, um, blocky in terms of head, not like these round heads that you're seeing, um, but heavily muscled. And something that is heavily muscled, it does not necessarily have to be huge. Um, two people can have the same frame, the same exact frame, and one that's heavily muscled, who can be a slimmer person, can be much heavier because of the muscle. Now, notice I said same frame, not the same weight, because the muscle would be the difference. That was what it was. You don't see muscular dogs in the show ring today. Mark says you hit the nail on the head. Form is supposed to follow function, right? Too many people focusing on the phenotype and not the function and temperament. Exactly. You want that. The standard does not say that anywhere. Where does the standard say pit bull on steroids? Steven Jackson, come on. Dave said it. Well, I already know that you know better, Steven. You know better. So we don't have to play that game about wondering, oh, it doesn't say it in the standard. The owner said that. If he's saying something different now, then we know that he's changing what was meant to be. That's all. That's what it is. Maurice, let's see, the American Bully was finished. He said he was happy with, and if anything, he wanted to see more athleticism and tighter skin. Just like I said, you apparently saw the video as well. No, it wasn't finished. They still trying to figure it out, but we incorporating bad genetics from other breeds and losing the look and the standards and passing on bad genes. That is also correct. Since the product says BB and Bully Kennel, since the product was not completed, how can it have a standard? Well, they made a standard. So either it was finished or, or it wasn't finished. But the standard, Michael Sniper says the standard doesn't say extreme or more mass, that the dog can't function either. Correct. It does that is correct. Castillo's the breed is evolving like Pokemon, I guess. Exactly. Daniel, when Dave says jump, they say how high, and that is correct. Um, it's like oh, everyone talking about two different dogs. Support the separation. Correct, Grouchy. I agree with that as well. Dave said at the beginning to give breeders a concept to breed for. Okay, Steven Jackson. If he wanted what is there today, you don't think Dave was intelligent enough to just go and take bulldogs and take dogs of that phenotype and make what they have today? I've s- I even have a friend who took an American bully to a half American bully, half English bulldog, and he got dogs like just like what they have today. Dave is very intelligent. That's one thing I will say Dave is. Dave is smart enough to know that what he can do from what he can't do. And if that was a look that Dave wanted back then, that is what he would have done. He didn't want that look. But when there were some people that, well, a whole lot of people were cheating. When that look took off with popularity, that's what they went to. Because you can't tell me that Denzel looks like that. You can't tell me that Sweet and Low looks like that. You can't tell me that the Boss looks like that. You can't tell me that Master Shifu looks like that. So where did the look come from that you consider those dogs to be irrelevant dogs of the past? That's what I would like to know. What's up, Brickhouse Bulls? Thanks for coming on, man. And just like you said, Maurice, that's what the standard is there for, to be taken literally. Like that really didn't make sense. What he said. And we know Castillo, like you said, money is the real reason why we see what's happening to the breed. BBM Bully Kennel says, do most bullies have darks in their blood? No, most bullies don't. But there are very many bullies that have darks in their blood. And Dax, I think, has several thousand offspring, several thousand. Um, so, I mean, Dax. I don't think there's another dog that's been bred as much as Dax. The only one that might have been close may have been possibly Remy. Um, the last time I tried to get a count, but Dax, Dax isn't in every single bully's blood. Alejandro says the problem was that the breed was a group effort with different vision depending on what part of the country you lived in. I have heard something like that before, Alejandro. That is, I can't say yes or no to that, but I feel like I've heard something like that. You can have, God says, you can have a standard based off vision, then you get Rugers and Paco and dogs like that, then go in a total different direction. Just true. Dave Cumberbatch, Harley, John Geronimo, thank you for coming. Looking for a good stud in Ohio. Stephen Jackson says, show me in the standard where it says Pitbull on steroids. You have been listening to humans on steroids. But that human is David. Why are you acting like you don't know that? It's Dave. Greetings. What's up, Brickhouse Bulls? Appreciate you coming on. Greetings from Vero Beach, Florida. Thank you, Count 33630 for coming on. Stephen must be new to this breed, says Dear Cumberbatch. Daniel has several thousand and only 10 kids alive. He's talking about Dax, I think. Any bully pups left? Honorary kennels. If you're going by written standard, don't go back and say you're going by Dave's word on a YouTube video. Well, does it matter where he's going, where it came from? He said it. If it's in the standard, that's what it's supposed to be. Like I said, Stephen, you already know better. You know better. So there's no need for us to go back and forth with that. We know that you know better. BBM says, do I believe that Dax destroyed the American bully? I don't believe Dax destroyed the American bully. I believe maybe Doc's owner or people that um, maybe overbred Docs, but because there was still no way to find out the issues that Docs had without breeding Docs, but he was definitely overbred. I mean, way overbred for a dog who had been known to cause such issues like heart murmurs, other heart conditions, skin allergies, and on top of the bad conformation. I just don't like. It's like American bully. It's like American bully breeders in this community. They look at the pros and cons and then throw the cons out the window when they're breeding. And they just look at the pros because people already know what happened with dogs of those bloods before. I can't take a chance on producing a litter with heart murmurs and skin allergies, and then you give me that with bad conformation. That's like that's a waste of my time just for me to hope that I get like what's the point of me getting a dog with an extremely thick neck, extremely big head, extremely big shoulders, and the same to if the dog's gonna have a heart murmur. There's a guy on YouTube, Fit Bully TV. Um, he has a page, and he talked about three dogs that he bought off of Rocco that he had to return. And Fit Bully TV has a whole bunch of subscribers. I was just like, how many more people have to see what has happened? And then the American bully breeders in this community, you know what they say? I can do it without getting that. We're not scientists. I know everyone thinks they're a scientist that they can overcome health issues. Um, like when you don't get health issues, it's in my opinion that it's a chance. So it's like if you want to take that chance to get a big thick neck and a bigger head, that's on you. But that's not. I don't think that's good and good ethical breeding practice. You know, Ryan Sukram, did one of your pups hurt their leg? What happened? No, her mom hurt her leg. Her mom was immature. Um, Wanted to see them move around, so she flipped her over, and then when I went there, I've seen her do it before, and I had to separate her from them and start hand feeding them because she broke her leg that way. That was very upsetting, especially for a breeding that I hadn't even planned. Maurice, I'd say you talk about the standard a lot, but you're ignoring the champions with faults. Maurice, we already know that's the case. Champions, grand champions, national winners. We're talking about. Oh gosh, Braveheart, Steven Jackson. What the heck? Okay, that's a situation almost for the police. I can't even. I don't even know anything about that, but I pray everything goes right with that situation and rectifying that. But God, Teoscrilo, Dax didn't destroy the blood; they just abused his genetics, which I think is an objective answer. Um, yeah, that's some crazy stuff. Steven Jackson, Dave said that the whole concept was pit bulls on steroids. That was the direction he intended for this breed. YouTube, I believe, is Zeb Pitts. Exactly, Manuel. He knows it. Rocky Smith, everyone drank the purple drink with Dax. Yeah, they did. They did. But the thing, this it always leaves me at this impasse. Like Dave is such an intelligent guy. When you hear him speak, he articulates himself well. But even what he's done with certain breedings, you know that this guy is intelligent. If you see someone like him, he knows. Um, he knows where opportunity is and how to capitalize on that as well. But you think Dave hasn't seen what's going on with Dax blood and the Rocco blood, and even at nationals with the dogs needing the cooling capes? Has he ever addressed it? No. What did he tell you when he did that one interview with New Jersey Cinema Bulls? Um, they're looking for extreme bulls, bulls with more mass. And if your dog has more mass and a high rear, they're gonna take that over a dog that has less mass but great conformation. So that's all we can look forward to in the future. That's it's only gonna get worse. But you do have some good dogs out there today. Let's say in the ABKC right now, show ring on the circuit. I would say like Hangman. I don't know what the standings are right now, but the last time I checked, him and Grand Champion Vito were up there. Now, to me, they're not as they're not as extreme. So, um, I don't mind that they still you know, maybe Vito in the face has this thick jowly area, but he's not definitely to me in my eyes not overdone. But his confirmation, their confirmation to me were much better than dogs of the past 2 or 3 years. Godtail Squilla, like you said, fit bully, not lion. Alejandro Duran says Lugo King Spade had the Dax look years before Dax existed. He was a Juan Gaudi's son. Steven Jackson, do Duval bullies not? Oh boy, oh boy. BBM bully again. A fit bully is basically a pit bull. Don't you think skinny bully doesn't make sense? No, we talk about Fit Bully. We're talking about a YouTube channel, Fit Bully TV, where this guy is an American bully breeder. Fellas, just ignore Steve. Okay. Manuel, YouTube it. I meant there's some good info in Zab's interview with Dave. Take away from it. Um, Fit Bully TV is trash, says, yeah, well, I don't know. We're talking about dogs, not if Steve is a chomo. Steven Dax is super. Brook Bulls. Dax had that wow factor. Okay, BBM Bully Kennel. If you're a new breeder or if you're new to the American bully community, you're gonna have to understand that you can't just breed for wow factors. In breeding for wow factors, you're going to get a lot of undesirable features. I promise you that. If you focus on conformation first and try to add mass to a very good frame, you will have a dog that is built more towards the standard, and in my opinion, a more well balanced dog. Um, so I see you sound like someone that's interested in that kind of blood. So if you're gonna do it, health test it, because it's still. I'm not saying every single dog that has that blood has those health defects, but that's something I'm trying my best to stay away from, that kind of blood. And right now, there's enough strains of other bloodlines for me to use for the next couple of years to not have to touch that blood if I don't want to. But the wow factor, yeah. So could you imagine if there were a registry of dogs full of wow factors? Um, it just wouldn't make much sense at all. You would literally have the extreme class, which is what they got rid of years ago, because those dogs didn't end up having great conformation, and it ended up getting out of hand. That's what happened. Michael says Stephen knows what was said about those dogs, and they're supposed to be. He's just playing stupid and arguing. Okay, Alejandro. Fabian had a chance to dethrone the ABKC. The RKC had a huge following, and he left to focus on exotics and French bulldogs. I heard that. I heard that he left. Um, and I asked if he. I think I mentioned in a video that he did exotics, and he commented that he didn't breed exotics, but his Frenchies at this point do look exotic and extreme to me. When I from what I've seen. I go by the OG standard. Extreme is taking over big fox. That is true. No other breed made such an extreme change like that in dog history. Brookhouse, I wouldn't be surprised. Stephen Jackson again says, Pitbull on steroids is not in the written standard anyway. You people must can't read and just refuse to Google the written standard. Oh my gosh. And be careful who you fly with, birds of a feather. You have to be careful of that as well, Stephen. Nowhere in the standard does wow factor stated at all. Braveheart, Stephen, why you? Oh, God. Marley, there's nothing wow about docs. Well, good point, Michael Bailey. BBM. It's still in the creative process, correct? So when creating, what is the first thing you start with? BBM, if the first thing you would start with is a good frame, okay? So if you want a bigger dog or a lighter dog in terms of the frame, you still want there to be really good conformation for you to start with. You don't want to build a house on a weak foundation. Okay, BBM, you want to have a great foundation that you can build with. And if you want to, you can add mass to the frame that you want. But start with a good frame. You got an exotic bully now. Could you elaborate on the card 4 gene and how you think that may play out in the breed genetics? It seems to be popping up more and more. With the state we're in breed. Okay, Mark, the card 4 gene thing, I will say that there has not been enough studies done on that because there are a whole lot of American bullies with it. And they say that if your dog only has one copy, it doesn't affect. If you breed that with a dog that is all clear, those puppies should only have one copy, which doesn't affect that. But if you go and breed that one dog with card 4 to another dog with card 4, the puppies can have 2 copies of card 4, which in which they're saying now the dog will be affected by that. And if I remember correctly, it was an older age, like 10 or older. But what I was saying that didn't make sense to me about it in a way was that I didn't understand how they were collecting information, because there aren't enough people that are going to say, hey, my dog had card 4 10, 12 years ago, and now he lost eyesight at 10 or 12. Like, you won't know if he lost eyesight at 10 or 12 due to age or card 4. Even though at 10 or 12, they still should have their eyesight. Maybe at that 10 or over age, you should know that it's card 4 because the dog still should have vision at that age. Okay, and that's what I'm assuming. And now someone said the other day, I think late last year, that MBOC had planned to remove it from their health testing because it didn't affect bullies. But in my opinion, they didn't have enough information to do that, to say that it doesn't affect them because there isn't enough information collected. Now, there's a lady on Facebook that has been collecting information from people who are telling her that their dogs have card 4 or 2 copies or 1 copy, and she's tracking them, their ages, and to see if they lose sight, or if they keep their vision past a certain age. But she's just one person, and she's not a whole company like MBOC. But time will tell. But we definitely need to get more information about that, because a whole lot of American bullies have card 4. I mean, I think it's the reason why a lot of people choose not to do health testing. They don't want to see that. So Manuel says, with the state we are in with the breed, health-wise, I believe we're in a worse state, which is scary for this breed. I agree as well. I feel that healthy studs are now more difficult to find. Exactly. BBM bully, so the look correct, but BBM, the look, but also the health. You don't want a dog that looks great, but also is not a healthy dog. And I've had that before. I had a great American bully. I had the worst allergies I'd ever seen. And I just I couldn't breed him. So I had to put him in a pet home because he used to live outside. He couldn't live outside, allergic to 4 or 5 different types of grass, 4 or 5 different types of meat. So I placed him with someone who could keep him in his house. where he wouldn't lose hair and break out. But that's the unfortunate part about the breed, the thing that the parts of the breed that we have to deal with. The unhealthy traits that have saturated the gene pool, correct, Manuel. Out with the old standard, in with the extreme look is great. Look at Rocco. No, no. BBM, you must talk to Terrell from D Line. I will tell you this. The first time I heard Terrell talking on YouTube, I didn't like his approach. I thought he was I thought he was angry and I didn't know who he was angry at. And I was like, why this guy always talking about these dogs, this and that, unhealthy, this and that. And I just ignored him for years. My cousin one time I remember specifically telling me about him, and I was like, I don't care about the hair, any of that. Then I bought a dog with dark blood 5 years ago or so. That's the same one I'm telling you about. Crazy allergies. My friend bought a dog, who was my partner at the time. We bred the dog. Puppies, allergies. Then I have a friend with more dark blood, heart murmurs, skin allergies combined. So 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 I don't so when and that is when I remembered that this guy Terrell had been saying those things. So then I started to listen to his videos and understood that exactly what I had experienced exactly what he was talking about. So I knew he wasn't lying. So BBM bully, you don't have to take my word for it. You can experience it for yourself. And I will tell you one thing: there are a lot of people that are breeding dark blood and have these experiences, and they will lie to you about it that they're experiencing it because they don't want to get rid of the dogs. The dogs are very bully, and they don't want to lose the money that they've already invested. Now, if that sounds like ethical people to you, then you can go right ahead and do that. But I've given you my objective advice from my experience and from the experience of others, and it's up to you to now make your own decision on what you do with that. But my channel here, we deal with health and confirmation, and I try to spread awareness about that, and I try to give people the best objective information that I can give them. So the choice is yours. Daxa sired from Alejandro. Daxa sired over 900 offspring and only about 50 or less died early due to health issues. I don't think it's fair to blame him for most of the health issues in this breed. I have a 13-year-old dark son, no health issues. He came from breeding between darks to one gaudy daughter. I'm not saying most of the health issues. What I'm saying is came from darks. I'm saying, well, for one, he has way more than 900 offspring. I've seen that on paperwork. UKC. He has several thousand, and Remy I also believe has several thousand. He has well over 900. If you go just based off of Bullypedia only has people that registered their dogs on Bullypedia. There are still dogs that are registered on paperwork with Doc's blood as Doc's offspring as well that are not on Bullypedia. You have to remember that as well. And that is where I saw the biggest disparity in how much puppies he had actually had. And then there was still even more. But just from what I've seen, it's several thousand. But he has been so heavily bred, is what I'm saying, is that we've seen examples of that. And we know that Doc's, and I mean, you're blessed to have a Doc's dog with no issues. But let's just take Rocco blood. From Doc's to Eminent Bully's Boss. I don't know anything about Boss or what he's had. Then you go to his son, Rocco. Rocco is throwing heart issues and skin issues. Then you go from Rocco to Grim. Grim is throwing the same thing, heart issues and skin allergies. Then you go to the other generation, which is, well, I don't know if they're Rocco kids or Grim sons, but Brim. Brim has also produced some allergies as well. I can't say about the heart issues, but Big Red and Colossal, I've also heard people saying the same thing. So I don't see why people would have a reason to lie about that, especially from what we've seen from generation to generation. But, well, BBM Bully, I can't say. I'm currently trying to get away from Dark Blood, Rocco Blood, says Breakout Bullies. Grouchy Smith. Fabe was Dave, part 2. money, money, money. And that has been said. You know, I um, I haven't had the chance to talk to Fabian Chichester. Um, a lot of people that have worked with him, I haven't heard a lot of good, um, to be honest, in terms of selling what they've said in terms of selling out the RKC because it was a really good thing. But you know, I really would like to hear him talk about Remy and how his legacy is almost why he didn't finish or continue the legacy of such a great American bully in terms of what he's contributed. I would really like to see that. Guys, go ahead and click that like button for me. Man, I appreciate this. This is a good conversation that we've had. Um, Mike, but you're always on Terrell's live, so what exactly are you saying? Rocco is a cool looking dog, but he's not a good example of an American bully. I would agree with that. I think he is he's a cute dog. California said Fabian sold out like 90% of the people in the bully breed. I've heard some people say that. Fifi, I appreciate that support, man. Smash that like button. Brickhouse, you seen him. I sent him to you on IG. Very clean. Brickhouse. Brickhouse is Brickhouse talking to me? Okay. Okay, I got you. Yeah. California guy. Most people in the bully game are just dick riders who are broke and trying to get rich off the bully. That, in fewer words, the American bully this community seems to me like a lot of people that weren't almost like accepted some part in their life and they're looking for a group to cling to. And sometimes it's like when you get invested already and you've made relationships and you see people that are willing to compromise where you're not willing to compromise, it still seems like they're not willing to lose the relationship. So what they do is they compromise the dog. And I realize that in this community, it seems like people choose relationships with people over the betterment of the breed. And that just spells disaster for the breed. Um, man. And you see it all the time on Facebook. Like Facebook is the new MSN boards of the bully world, and that's just what happens. Like people are looking for something to be a part of, but they want it to be good. Well, some people, I should say. Lucky Lou owner is breeding away from Docs. Interesting, Pharrell. Big Norier, it's all about Big Norier. Just tell Terrell hates Rocco doesn't mean he should. T gotta stop that bitter BS. Twin Smith, what do y'all think about Escalade Musculina? Julian Smith, I like the look of their dogs. I think they're that bigger extreme dog with good conformation mostly. Um, some of them do look freaky, but I've heard they also look bigger in pictures than they actually do from a couple of people that have had some of their dogs. But I still like the way they look. Yeah, Vieira, they're looking for something to be a part of. Because, I mean, I'll tell you, when I came into the American Bully, I really wanted to be a part of this community. I wanted to be with a group of people that wanted the best for a dog. When I saw how much potential this dog had, I really wanted to be. I really wanted to be a better. I just wish so much for the American Bully. There's so much potential. There's no way the American Bully shouldn't be in the AKC right now. But there are some very, very good looking American bullies with really good conformation that I feel like could compete with some of those dogs. But you need a breed club. We need to start breeding from the inside out, trying to get healthy dogs first. That's what we need to do instead of what is going on now, you know. Y'all say breeding away like the health cannot be fixed in the extreme bully. But BBM, you're saying these things as if you know this to be true because you sound like you're just starting out. So I don't know who you've been speaking to, but all the best with your efforts in trying to do what you're trying to do. California guy, now it's about who's got the biggest, most expensive chain with the ugliest dog. Yeah. Speaking of that, for the life of me, I never understood why the ABKC would allow exotic dogs at an ABKC show. When I was in Oklahoma and I was at that dog show in Shawnee, and they had the exotics on the table, I was like, well, why would you? I wouldn't, if it was my show, I wouldn't allow exotics to be there because I wouldn't want them to be promoted. If I'm talking about a healthy dog, why would I allow you to be on the tables showing people these dogs that are not in the best interest of the breed? That doesn't even make any kind of sense to me. So it's all about number 8 now, not number 7, Big Noriega. The health is getting worse in these dogs. That's facts. I don't, California guy, I don't understand how people can want a dog that can't walk around the corner either. Fifi, we need better ambassadors of the breed. Facts. Way too much junk genetics and science projects out there. And I wish some of the OG guys would come back and stand up for the breed today, like the breed needs, because these guys who some of them, who are more popular today, have just been breeding a couple of years, like, and they think they're on the same level of these guys in the past. It's all it's crazy. Michael Sniper Bailey, man, that's how you fix the health. Breed away from it and minimize it in your yard. Grouchy Smurf, we all had that Dax experience, yeah. And I don't want to spend another dollar on it. I don't want to go through it again. I wouldn't want anybody else to go through it. I'll even go further to say this: the dog that I had that had all those health issues, he was a chumper granddaughter bred to, it was Man Up Boys bred to El Chapo. So it was a the boss son bred to Man Up Boys, which was a sweet and low daughter with chumper blood. Like I said, the worst allergies I've ever seen. That whole entire litter had problems. Um, and that dog's little mate brother, who also had very bad issues, health issues, is an ABKC champion today. And people who seen him in the show ring tell me his skin never looks right, and I can say yes, I know, because I've had his little mate brother. So no one has to tell me about that breeding. His brother's name is Dubai, from I'm thinking certified bully, but and he would ask me why I wouldn't promote his dog. But I was saying, how can I promote your dog when I know I've had a little mate and it's had all these health issues? So that's something I just couldn't do. So when I tell you I'm talking from experience with that blood, that's just my experience. I can't go off of other people's experience with that. I could tell you firsthand. I spent $5,000 on the dog, and before the dog was even 9 months, I spent another $2,000 just trying to figure out what was wrong. And someone said I should breed the dog to find out, but I said I'm not going to do that to cause a customer or someone else to have the same issues, to have to spend the same money. Like, who wants that? And why would anybody feel like that's something that's even ethical? You know, um, that's the American bully community for you, man. I don't know why people do that. I've seen an exotic overheat in a cart and it was only 70 degrees outside. Burkow said, that's crazy. BBM Docs went to a Denzel daughter and created Magoo. And Magoo is still living, yes. And most people would say to you that Magoo is the best example of Doc's blood and and that Magoo would be somewhat of an exception. But I don't. I can't say I've seen a whole lot from Muscle Tone, so I don't speak a whole lot on Muscle Tone. It's more like that Rocco stuff that I've seen firsthand. Noriega says most people just don't know how to breed. Dax and Rocco ain't the problem. It's the people tripling up on their blood that's causing the problems. You have said that before. Noriega, Magoo is a 75-25 dog. Okay. Before you even said his name, I knew you were talking about Dubai. Bing. Alejandro Duran. Bing. And the people get American bully people in this community just do not like the truth. And that's it. Yeah. And Dubai is being bred like crazy. All the best with those genetics. But I couldn't do that to anybody. And my dog looked even better than him because my dog was like 14, 15 inches. He had like the freaky bone, freaky head, freaky neck, but his top line was insane. Great conformation, tight feet. But I had to say, hey, this is the ethical thing to do. My $5,000 go down the drain. That's what I had to do, so that other people wouldn't experience that. The reason Magoo and Lucky's still alive is because their mamas who's on edge strains. You told me about that, and like you said, yeah, a lot of people do double up. I mean, inbreed on Dax crazy amount of times because Rocco alone is 4 times Dax. So if you inbreed him like some of his more famous sons, you're talking about a minimum of 8 times Dax. Tony M says, "What would be your best guess at how many American bully breeders there are?" Oh my gosh. I would love the ABKC to show us that number and the amount of litters they receive a year for registration. I would love to see that. Not even from, I mean, shoot, from different people to just even people with the same kennel. I would like to see that. Um, Fox Nori says Brookhouse. BBM, I agree. Bug Noriega. Dave, Fox, it's all about number 8. I don't even know who that is. Who's number 8? What y'all talking about? They must be something for the Ravens. So Kobe Bryant. Yeah. It's about like Coke. Michael, you had to clean up the docks and Rocco to make sure to address and clean up the issues they bring to the table. Yeah, I've spoken to a lady the other day that decided to add Rocco to her program, and now she's trying to get rid of the dogs. I think she based her program off of some edge dogs, and I was asking her why she wanted to get rid of it, and she said that when she bred to Rocco, she got some skin allergies that she didn't have before, as well as some conformation issues that she didn't have before. But when I asked her about why she did it, she couldn't really tell me why she chose to do it. No, yeah, they talk. Yeah, no, I know they talking to you, Noriega, but who is number 8? What's up, 3D Kennels in the house? Good friend of mine. You guys should check out his page. He's also big on health and conformation. But I do appreciate you guys coming on tonight. We had a great conversation. It was a great time, man. We hadn't done it in a long time. Yeah, I know. I was asking what the number 8 represented. Was that Kobe Bryant or was that just something? No, we appreciate you, Big Noriega. We appreciate you, man. I thank you guys for coming on. I don't know where and what's going to happen to the American bully, but I'm sure we're all going to find out together. There's a lot going on Facebook. Kenny Pickett, this Lamar Jackson over here, bro. That was fun. Keep it up. But yeah, guys. I mean, I appreciate you guys coming on. I gotta go call my wife now. It's a wrap. Never be a real breed. I started to feel that way too, but I'm still hoping for the best. Oh, Noriega, don't do that. Don't do that. The more is the truth. Okay, so love you guys. Um, let's keep it clean. Let's keep it correct. Let's keep it healthy. Let's try to do what we can to improve the breed and the future generations. Even if you decide not to, I am not reading his comments. Even if you decide um, not to breed um, or not to show, we can still do it. We'll try to put things, keep things even if we have to do it quietly, like an underground kind of thing. Let's breed and try to this BBM Canada guy, keep it clean and extreme. No, keep it clean and correct. The breed is dying rapidly, and Lamar Jackson is the MVP. Love you guys. Appreciate you. See you guys next. SBK has some nice stuff too. But feel free to message me on Facebook Messenger, guys, Kent Simonet, or on Lucayan Bulls and IG. Hit that like button for me. I will see you guys later. The Steelers suck, man, but I love you guys. Radford.